Moving several hundred kilometers west of Ziro village, one reaches the lovely town of Tawang. That is, if you happen to be at an elevation of 10,000 feet. With just over 4,000 people living in Tawang, 97% of them are Monpas and practice Tibetan Buddhism. Here, tucked away in the mountains, you'll find India's biggest monastery, the Tawang Monastery. Buddhism in Tawang dates back to the 11th century and has been influenced by a variety of missionaries and sects ever since. Today, most Monpas belong to the Gelugpa sect. Tawang was part of Tibet until the McMahon line was drawn in 1914 in an effort to define India's borders. The area thus retains many similarities in culture and religion to Tibet. The Monpas speak 6 sub-dialects of a language that derived from Tibetan. Though they use the Tibetan script, the Monpa languages are mutually unintelligible from Tibetan. The use of prayer flags indicates a tie to Buddhist culture. Clusters of flags can be seen in the mountainsides of Tawang. They're placed there after a death with one flag for each year in the life of the deceased. Prayer flags are believed to have origins in the pre-Buddhist Bon religion and are traditionally woodblock printed with texts and images. The flags are hung not to carry prayers to gods, but to spread goodwill and compassion to benefit all, and are dyed in 5 colors to represent the elements. Prayer wheels, like prayer flags, are also part of Tibetan culture and are directly linked to the Buddhist religion. Prayer wheels can be found all over Tawang. Prayers or mantras are written on the outside of the wheels, and when turned are a physical representation of reciting the prayer. The mantra most commonly found on prayer wheels, Om Mani Padme is meant to steer the mind towards enlightenment energies. Perhaps this is what sustains the monks in their monastic studies and meditations. The town of Tawang is most famous for the beautiful Tawang Monastery. The monastery was built in 1681 in accordance with the wishes of the 5th Dalai Lama. It's the largest monastery in India and is currently home to about 450 monks. One of the most awe-inspiring parts of a visit to the monastery is entering its grand assembly hall. The altar occupies the entire northern side of the hall, where the 27-foot-tall statue of Lord Buddha sits. It's in this hall that monks gather for prayer and dining. The monastery has been a cornerstone of Monpa life for centuries. Young monks here receive a traditional monastic education, as well as a standard education in subjects such as mathematics, Hindi, and English. Besides study, prayer, and meditation, monks, young and old, are also responsible for leading some of the town's religious festivals and celebrations. Losar, the Tibetan New Year, takes place at the end of February or early March for 15 straight days. Parades, music, and colorful costumes come out in full glory during this time, which is also a great time to visit Tawang. The Monpa people, influenced by Tibetan Buddhism combined with their unique tribal and spiritual identity, have made this tiny corner of India a world of their own. Outside of Ziro and Tawang, much of Arunachal Pradesh remains relatively unexplored by the outside world. With its rich and diverse tribal cultures, it's a unique face of India. As globalization expands its reach into India's far eastern state, the tribes of Arunachal Pradesh have become less and less isolated. However, despite a shift in cultural practices towards a more modern lifestyle, Arunachal still remains rooted in its traditional religious and cultural ways, and its people continue to celebrate its heritage. No matter where you are in Arunachal Pradesh, one will see how fairs and festivals have become an essential part of their culture. Full of dancing and singing, tribes have different dances, be it the Buddhist dance, drama, or the colorful swinging of the tribes on the Apatani Plateau. The Arunachalis have a very low stress level in their lives. It's their spirit that can be seen in their unique song and dance. Arunachalis seem to already be where the rest of the world wants to get to, a group of communities that live close together in happy isolation from the rest of the world, with little or no antagonism, leading self-sufficient, healthy and balanced lives.